Check this out. This is Chopping It Up with G-Owens, episode 2. Let's get into it. I'm going to go over the month of February. First, I want to say, happy Black History Month. Want to say rest in peace to Katherine Johnson. She was an African-American woman who worked on critical mathematical calculations in the early days of space flight. So I just wanted to say rest in peace to her. She died at the age of 101. And let's get into it. I mean, in February, there was the Super Bowl, that kind of kicked off the month of February. I was happy to see a Bay Area team in there, San Francisco 49ers, even though they lost. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. So some things that went down, obviously I'm on Twitter. I'll never delete that app. So, I'm looking through Twitter, and one thing that a lot of people were commenting about was Jay-Z and Beyonce. They sat down during the national anthem. There was a lot of people who sat down during the national anthem. I don't really want to get too political on this show, but as far as them sitting down, I didn't have a problem with it. I know that a lot of people did have an issue with it. Even Colin Kaepernick has something to say about it. Basically saying that, I thought we were done with kneeling, to Jay-Z, because Jay-Z had made a comment like that. But anyway, I didn't see it as a big deal. There was a lot of people sitting down. There's a lot of people at home sitting down during the Super Bowl as well. So, it is what it is. Some funny stuff that happened that night at the Super Bowl. I know that G-Eazy was seen with Meg Thee Stallion on the Instagram Live. That was super funny. Bay Boy for the win. But Twitter was, they were going crazy, especially Black Twitter. They were going crazy seeing G-Eazy with Meg Thee Stallion. But, I've seen Meg Thee Stallion do that with a couple other people too. So really nothing out of the norm there. Something that I did see on Twitter as well, I know that Quentin Miller made a post. If you don't know who Quentin Miller is, basically he did some co-writing for Drake. And he made a post, I guess it was like the anniversary of if you're here, what is it called? If you're reading this now it's too late, or something like that. If you're reading this is too late. That album, that was actually one of my favorite Drake albums. But basically he was making a comment about, how, everyone's celebrating that album, and he basically, it was like the worst time of his life, because, he did get writing credits on that album, but because of that, that started the whole Drake and Meek Mill beef. And, now that Meek Mill and Drake, they kind of hashed it out, they're friends again, but he's like not able to get work in the industry, and he's just, he was just complaining about that whole situation, and basically asking record labels to give him a chance as far as, writing. So, I think that does suck. It's a shitty situation. I definitely think that he should be able to get work in the industry. He's proven to be able to write good songs. Again, that was one of my favorite albums by Drake. So, I thought that was really interesting. It really sucks how he ended up in that situation. Chanel West Coast went on a rant. It was pretty funny. She was just, complaining, saying that, she's a really nice person, and she likes a bunch of people's pictures on Instagram, and basically nobody likes her pictures, or nobody shows her love back. So, it was just a funny rant. But, there's definitely some truth to it. But then she started, going crazy, saying like, oh, well, I'm on TV, I'm a popular person, I don't have to follow you. I'm just doing it out of the kindness of my heart, and you can't even like my photos back. It was just funny. It was a funny rant. Of course, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw, where D Wade was talking about his daughter, who, was his son, but he came out as a female, and then Bootsy Badass had something to say about that as well. He went on a rant saying, don't, let your son be a boy. the way he sounded is like he thought that they went and did a surgery or something like that, which they can't do anyway. But to each his own. Boosie Badass has an opinion about it. Um, a lot of people have an opinion about it. They say they don't. They say that uh, you should just let them do what they want to do, but or you should focus on your own life and don't worry about them. But that's an opinion as well. Again, I don't want to get too political on the show, but if that rant is pretty funny. It sparked a lot of comments, and it brought up a lot of issues that I think are good to kind of talk about. So, all in all, I think it's healthy, to let people just kind of speak their opinion, speak their mind, because if they are wrong, they'll never be corrected if we don't know how they're thinking. You know what I'm saying? Um, Rest in peace to Pop Smoke. I know Pop Smoke died from a home invasion. Um, that's a really sucky story. Um, Pop Smoke, I was listening to his album before it all happened. Um, wasn't a huge fan after a first listen, but I'll definitely go back and listen again. But with the home invasion, man, it's sad. I guess basically he had got some gifts sent to him because his album was doing well, and one of the gifts had his address on him. At least that's what I saw on like TMZ. So that's how they're saying that the people got his address. I guess like 10 masked men went in there, robbed him, and murdered him. So just really sad story. But rest in peace to Pop Smoke. Um, there was also you guys may have seen that 9-year-old kid Quaden, whose mom posted a video about him getting bullied, and somebody set up like a Kickstarter for him or a GoFundMe, and basically he got just like a ton of money was donated to him. It ended up being like almost $500,000. There was some controversy over whether or not he was 9 years old. So that was kind of going around Twitter for a while. As far as from what I'm seeing, the kid's definitely 9 years old. But the photos that they're posting of him, where he's like flashing money, or wearing like Gucci and Yeezys and stuff like that. Apparently all those pictures are real, but he's still 9. As far as like the reason why I think they're real, I did see an interview with his mom, and she was just explaining basically how he likes to dress like that, and he likes to buy things like that just to kind of help with his self-esteem, pretty much. So she was like, yeah, he likes to buy knockoff Gucci stuff and wear Yeezys and all that stuff to help out with his self-esteem. So anyway, that was a crazy story. I think that kind of the cool thing about the whole thing is, I guess the GoFundMe was for him to go to Disneyland, but he ended up not going to Disneyland and just donating the money to help out with bullying. So he donated like $470,000 to bullying. So I thought that was a good move. I thought that was really cool. There's this song. It's this group called like RMR. I guess you say it rumor is how you say it, but it's spelled RMR. It's basically these dudes in ski mask and carrying AK-47s, and they're singing like this country song, but it's like a cover of a country song. I think it's Rascal Flatts or something like that, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But they're doing a cover of this country song, and it's like it's just so sick. It's a really cool song. It blew up for a while. It was on YouTube, got millions of views, but they took it down because copyrights laws. But there's still like video floating around out there on Twitter. So if you haven't heard it, I would check it out. It's just it's entertaining, if to say the least. But yeah, I would just check it out. It was a cool song. It was a cool cover. It was the way they flipped the words and everything was cool. I saw on Twitter there was this guy, I guess for his birthday, his girlfriend like offered him either a rental property or a brand new Rollie, and the dude wanted a Rollie So a lot of people were giving him shit over that for making that decision. You know, not taking the rental property and just getting a watch or wanting a watch. There are people, you know, justifying it by saying that he didn't want to have to take care of the rental property, so that's why he just wanted the watch. I don't know. I definitely would have took the rental property, but you know, either way, if his girlfriend has rental properties that she can just give to him, um, he's probably doing fine. He's probably fine taking the rollie. um, got a little cough. I don't think it's the coronavirus, but stay safe out there. One other thing that I saw on Twitter, so I guess this dude's name was like Mad Mike Hughes, I believe. He was like a heavy duty flat earther. He was building rockets to basically, you know, go up in the air and see if there was a curvature, so he can basically prove the flat Earth. But he died doing that. You know, rest in peace. I definitely don't think the Earth is flat, but you know, somebody was making a point about it, and you know, I thought it was just interesting, you know, that he took it that far to try and prove his point. Um, but you know, spending all that time building the rockets, all the trial and error, and all the money, someone was just like, "Yo, why didn't he just buy a plane ticket and then go up and see for himself that way?" Um, but honestly, he's probably one of those guys that even thinks there's a conspiracy as far as even getting on a plane. Like, you know, like they close the windows and you don't even really see what's going on outside. I don't know. But anyway, that's pretty much what happened on Twitter throughout February. Definitely some more stuff that went down, but that was my quick rundown. Some TV that I watched through February. So I started the Malcolm X story on Netflix. That was pretty good. I didn't get to finish it, so I'm still trying to finish that. But it was a pretty cool documentary. I would definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. It's on Netflix, and it's basically, I want to say it's about his murder. And, you know, one of the guys on there, basically it's kind of like his life mission to, you know, figure out everything about Malcolm X's death, to kind of answer all those questions. So it's a really cool documentary. I would check it out. One show that I've been watching a lot is Outsiders. This is the show on it's on like HBO. I don't like how it only comes out like one episode a week. You know, now with streaming, I just want to watch everything. I just want to watch it like in one sitting, for the most part. But basically, you know, it's based off a Stephen King book, and it's been pretty good. So if you haven't seen that, I would check it out. It's already close to the end of this season, I want to say. So now you can actually watch like a bunch of episodes if you haven't watched it already. I've been watching it one episode a week, but it's really good. There's also this new show called For Life by 50 Cent, or at least 50 Cent is like one of the producers. That's a really cool show. It's basically about this dude who's been locked up in prison, and he, you know, became a lawyer, and he basically represents the people inside of prison. So he represents the other prisoners in court as their lawyer. So it's based on a true story. So some of the stuff is true. Obviously, you know, some of it is fictionalized just to make a better TV show, but it is based on a true story. So that's a really cool show if you haven't seen that. It's called For Life. You can stream it on Hulu. Me and Mandy, we saw The Photograph in theaters. That was on, you know, Valentine's Day. That was like a huge movie, at least with like, you know, other black people. Issa Rae, and I forgot the other dude that's in there. I forgot his name, but he's a really good actor too. He's in like ATL and some other movies. but it was a cool movie. It was basically it was a love story. I mean, I wouldn't like watch it again. Um, it was cool for what it was. It wasn't anything like special in my opinion. It was just a love story, and it was a cool movie to kind of take a girl out on a date. Me and Mandy went and watched it. So if you haven't seen it, I would check it out. But that was kind of like a cool Valentine's Day thing to check out. Um, there's this like anime on Netflix called Scissor Seven. It was pretty cool. I checked that out. I watched that whole season. I don't know if you guys seen that, but it's a pretty cool little anime if you're into anime or adult animation. Um, I would check that out. Again, Scissor Seven. Um, I watched the Leslie Jones stand up. It was pretty funny actually. I didn't think it would be funny. I didn't think I would like it, but there was definitely some funny parts. Some of it is just kind of like over the top, but that's Leslie Jones. But it was good. As far as like the way the material is put together, it was actually a pretty good stand up. So I would check that out if you haven't seen that. Um, and then I just found out that Snowfall, the third season's on Hulu, so I've been watching that. That's a really good show as well. I don't know if you've ever seen Snowfall, but I definitely recommend that show. That's an awesome show. It's basically about, I want to say, like 1980s kind of Coke era. Um, and they show like, the political side. They show the side where they're in the ghetto or they're in the hood. So they show that side, and they show the side where there's like the Mexicans and how the cartel was involved and things like that. So it shows like three sides of the whole coke trade era, and it's just a really well put together show. So I would definitely check that out. Again, that's called Snowfall. If you haven't seen that, check it out. Some music that I've been listening to, Royce da 5'9", his album is it was really dope. So if you haven't heard that album, I would check it out. Definitely, straight hip hop album. Um, I've been playing it a lot. It's just really cool. Definitely check it out. Basically, he produced the whole thing himself. I guess he just started making beats, but he did all the beats on that album. I know he did a few beats on Eminem's album as well. But definitely check that out, man. If you haven't heard that album, it's pretty dope. Um, Pop Smoke again came out, so check that out if you haven't. Again, I wasn't really feeling it on my first listen. I didn't listen all the way through. I'll check it out again. Maybe I just wasn't in the right mood. Um, it's pretty much sounded like you needed to be kind of turned up anyway. So I'll check that out again. Pop Smoke. G Herbo came out with the album. Wasn't really feeling too much of that. There's the song PTSD with Juice World, rest in peace. That song is pretty dope. I like that song with Chance. I don't know. I think I would have chose a different feature than Chance, but I guess they're both from Chicago, so maybe that was kind of the reason. Or it's like I think it's the best song on his album. So you probably just wanted Chance to be in there to have another superstar name. But that song's pretty dope. Juice World, his hook on there is really dope. So if you haven't listened to G Herbo's album, you can check that out. I know Ozzy Osbourne came out with the album. I haven't listened to it. If you listen to it, let me know. Is it dope? Is it not dope? Been wanting to get around to listening to that. Lil Baby came out with the album. I didn't get around to listening to that. I listened to a couple songs, and I just probably not in the right mood for that at the time either. 2 Chainz came out with kind of like a compilation album, if you want to call it that, but it was basically like, I think it's people on his label or like people that he's associated with. It was called TRU. There's some cool cuts on there. 2 Chainz is definitely the standout artist on it, but there was a couple good songs on there, so that I would definitely check out. And then I released a single this month as well called Black Heart. If you haven't heard that, check it out. Streaming on all platforms. Again, Black Heart. just released by me. I'll be having an album coming up this year, so check that out. Um, all right, lastly but not least, let's get to these Panda and Peacock restaurant reviews. So I'm just gonna do like a few reviews. These are like black-owned restaurants and businesses. So first is Trap House downtown Phoenix. I don't know if you guys ate there. Me and Mandy, we ate there um, twice. So I ate there once with Mandy and I ate there once by myself. But the first time, so I got the wings and I got mac and cheese and the greens. Everything was smoked. So even like the mac and cheese was smoked and the greens were smoked. I wasn't a huge fan, honestly. I think that I love seasoning, I love salt and all that, but I think it was just the smoke was overpowering. So I wasn't a huge fan of that, and the wings, I didn't think they were that great. They're supposed to be award-winning wings, but just not my favorite. But I did try it again just because I didn't want to say oh, I just don't like this place off of one try. Tried it again, and it kind of felt the same way, honestly. So, not my favorite place, but hey, I would definitely check it out. If you haven't been there, it's called Trap House Barbecue. A lot of people like it, so you know, don't not you know, I wouldn't avoid it just because I didn't like it. So give it a try. Then there's a spot called Breadfruit. It's a Jamaican rum bar. This is also downtown Phoenix. This is a spot we love. We love going there. We've been going there for years now, for quite a while. So pretty much they have really good rum drinks. They have like hundreds of bottles of different types of rum. They make a rum punch every day, like a different rum punch. So you can go in there and just say, let me get the special rum punch. And they'll have that ready for you. And then the food's really good as well. I've eaten there a lot of times, like I said. So I've eaten a few things. The jerk chicken, curry goat, curry shrimp, the plantains. We love to get those. But yeah, every time I've eaten there, I pretty much enjoyed myself. So that's a dope spot. If you've never been there, again, it's called Breadfruit Jamaican Rum Bar. Cool spot. I would check it out. And then there's Lolo's. So Lolo's, I've known about Lolo's since basically I started living out here in Phoenix. The first time I went to Lolo's, I went to the one in Phoenix. That's downtown. Um, it was good, man. They fried chicken, soul food, basically fried chicken, mac and cheese, greens. That's what I had when I ate there the first time. They have the big jars of Kool-Aid. It was really good. The first time I ate it, I really enjoyed it. They opened up a few different locations since I've been here. They have one in Gilbert and they have one in Scottsdale now. I've eaten at both of those locations as well. It wasn't as good. I don't know what it is, but the Gilbert one, I wasn't feeling it. It just, I don't know what it was. I think honestly, even just the location kind of made a difference. You know what I mean? But the Gilbert one, it wasn't as good. Scottsdale one, it was good, but it didn't feel like it was the same as the one in Phoenix. But Lolo's Chicken and Waffles, I do like that spot. Their waffles are good, and the chicken's good as well. But anyway, y'all, thanks for watching. This has been Chopping It Up with G-Owens, episode 2. I got a mic this time. Hopefully the sound came through good this time. You know, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how I can make this better. And hope y'all have a good month. Be easy.